everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm here to share with you guys a little bit of a humorous card. I've made this as a little peekaboo for a friend who loves rabbits. And I bet the person who's going to get this can guess who she is. Anyway, I just think that during these times of COVID, it's great to add a little humor. So I use this honeybee stamp set called Hang In There, and I use the main bunny image that's holding a sign and one of the many sentiments that's part of this set. I realized that I didn't do a great stamping job, so luckily I'm using this stamping tool to redo the stamping, and it also makes it really easy to make sure that the sentiment is positioned in the middle. And then I decided for the front of the card, I was going to die cut this square opening so that the little bunny can peek out from the inside of the card. And that stitched die set is, Simon says, stamp stitch squares. So it has the little dash lines inside and outside. And then I'm using the little toilet paper roll that is part of the stamp set and stamping this out in a Simon Says Stamp smoke color. So it's like a mid-tone gray color. And I'm just maneuvering around this card front because I want the toilet roll to be in a whole bunch of different directions, as well as be a little bit lighter to make it a nice background, but not have it overpower the main bunny image. And I want it to overhang, so I'm going to cover up that little die cut opening with the little scrap that was from that die cut. And I'm stamping the toilet paper roll out, I think like half a dozen times off of the edge of the card front. And now I am going to place it one last time, that die cut opening back in place so that I can stamp one at the very top. And I think that stamping the toilet paper rolls in that light or mid-tone gray made it much more kind of realistic and, again, not to overpower the bunny rabbit. Now I'm just using an N1, that's a neutral light gray, to color all the rolls of toilet paper. I suppose I could have done it in different pastel colors, but actually at our house, we always just use white toilet paper. I remember when I was a kid having different colored toilet paper at the house, but I don't even know if you can find that anymore. Anyway, I'm just using the N1 and coloring all the rolls, making the center, I guess I could have made that brown, but I decided I was just going to use the N1 for the entire, all of the toilet paper rolls on this front. And I'm just using one shade and going to the edges, the inside, and where there would be a valley of sorts in the paper. Now for the bunny rabbit, I thought I would keep this really pale, I'd like to mid-tone brown for the bunny rabbit. So I'm using an E51 and I'm just putting in a base color. I kind of wanted to experiment on where I wanted the highlights to be. So I started on the edges. And then for the inside of the bunny rabbit's ears and the blush on the cheeks, I was going to use an R20. Then I'm going with the darkest color, the E55, to get the edges of the bunny rabbit's hands, the edges, the bottom of the ears, under the chin, where the neck would have a shadow. And I decided I was going to keep the highlight at the front of the face of the bunny rabbit. So the edges on both sides are going to have the darker brown tone. Now I'm blending out with that mid-tone, the E53. And I'm just connecting that from all directions to that lightest E51. Now I'm going to go back in with the E51 and blend out again so as to have a more continuous, smooth looking bunny. And I think it connects nicely, the R20. But I think at this point I realized I wanted more pink in the ears and in the cheeks, but I didn't want to go too dark. So I'm actually using a lighter R color. It's an R30, and then blending back in with that darkest E55. Going back and forth like this actually gives it a more saturated look. And I'm going back in to make sure that the darker colors aren't bleached out. And then as you can see, I didn't color inside the lines very well. So I'm using a zero marker, a blending marker, to push back in the ink inside the lines. And it actually did a really good job. If your zero marker is very juicy, it seems to work really well. And then as you can see, that little splotch at the bottom was mostly faded, but I thought better just to color up the sign with the same R30 as the base color, and then along the edges and along the top and bottom where it might be more shaded, I'm using an R20. So it gives a nice cohesive look. It kind of repeats the colors in the bunny's ears and cheeks without being like super matchy-matchy, but keeping it very kind of tonal for this image. That's the completed card. Here's the completed front of the card. Then you can see the close-up. And then you can also see that I had to line the inside of the card. You can see the blue there on the edge and all along the left side because the Copic marker ink had gone through the front of the card. So I did that off camera, but I did want to show you that. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Bye.